Hi, this is Luke Reimer from the Inside BlackBerry blog, and I'm joined by Jeff of NFC Product Management to tell us a little bit about the technology and where it's going. So why don't you tell me about the current landscape of NFC technology and sort of where we're at with BlackBerry and NFC today?
We're actually in a great spot here at BlackBerry. We've been one of the early manufacturers to fully endorse NFC. We've got it in a lot of our BlackBerry 7 handsets, including the 9900, the 9360, and the 9790. And in terms of our releases, in our initial 7.0 release, we included tag reading and writing functionality, which is one of the modes for NFC. In our subsequent 7.1 release, we released BlackBerry Tag, which includes peer-to-peer functionality, which allows users to exchange information between two BlackBerry devices. The third type of initiative that some people have heard a little bit about is associated with card emulation, and that's where you get into payments, physical access space, which we're starting to see more use cases come on board right now.
So in terms of mobile payments, I know that's something that a lot of people are really excited about. So where are we at in terms of that, coming to market? I know, parts of the world it's starting to pop up, but when can we expect that to sort of develop?
It's a very interesting space, and you see a lot of press, a lot of talk around mobile payments. It's where a lot of the industry seems to get a lot of press around. There's a lot more to NFC, but in terms of payments, it really is bringing an interesting use case to devices, and the concept of a mobile wallet is pretty appealing to a lot of people. The challenge with a lot of these projects is NFC is not just a technology that you put in the phone and then all of a sudden you can do payments. To get payments, you have to actually have payment vehicles on the device, like credit card credentials, debit card credentials. And that means you have to involve banks, other service providers to make sure that the credentials get down on the device securely. So these are fairly large projects, and we're starting to see more and more of these projects roll out. There's been a lot of work done in the background, and we're excited about how things are going to roll forward. Just as a couple of examples, we have Turkcell, who's got some rolled out NFC payments. We're working with ISIS, who's focused on the US. Recently in Canada, we had an announcement from Rogers and CIBC about their work within the payment space, and there's lots going on within the European region as well. So, with NFC, there's been a lot of hype around it, but we haven't had a lot of devices out there. And I think one thing that people don't always recognize with NFC is that it's not just a technology. It's not just something you can put on the phones and then people can necessarily use it in all cases. In a lot of respects, NFC is about an ecosystem of players. So we need devices with NFC technology, but for example, in payments, we also need credential issuers like banks to put their credit card details there, and they have to get familiar with that. In addition, with tag reading and writing, which gives you some interesting use cases around coupons or getting information, you also need people to take advantage of that and take advantage of the device's capabilities.
So in terms of use cases, what are some of the interesting ones that you've seen so far with NFC?
We've all heard about payments and physical access, but one of the more neat use cases that I've seen was actually some work that we did at our concepts group here. One of the examples was, sometimes we're challenged here at RIM to find a meeting room at a building. And you can imagine if you're going to a strange location and you want to find out where you want to go, it'd be nice to have a map once you get into the building. So they actually did this system where you walked into a building, tapped on a poster using an NFC application and an NFC tag, and it brought up a map to where I was and where I needed to go from a meeting room.
So it seems like the options are pretty limitless in terms of the use cases. Have you seen any specific use cases in business? That let's say the average business end user or employee would be able to take advantage of?
Certainly from an enterprise or business case, you can get access to your building, but you might also be able to get access to your computer, logical access. We all, if you're working in the business world, have to deal with logging in remotely to get our email or other functionality. Imagine that simplifying through the use of a tap against a computer. Again, some use cases like that. In addition, even some basic stuff like exchanging cards.
So we saw at BlackBerry World Foursquare NFC check-ins for the first time, which is a really neat one. Are there any other app developers that are looking at building NFC integration into their apps moving forward?
NFC can be taken advantage by a number of different applications. You have the concept of checking in with Foursquare, but likewise you could also have the concept of liking something on Facebook, a tag to like something. And you can use that social media like Twitter, tap to subscribe to a certain link. So again, you get into different applications that all could take use cases with NFC and apply them to their applications. I imagine, as I discussed before, it's an ecosystem, so these application developers have to kind of understand NFC, see how it applies, and then start integrating it into their applications.
So where is NFC going in the future, BlackBerry 10 and beyond?
BlackBerry is very committed to NFC, and we're looking to include it in as many other future devices as possible, and that includes BB10. So we'll be looking to include the same capabilities that we have in our current devices, and also look for some improvements as well.
Great. Well, thanks for joining me today, Jeff.
No, thanks, Luke. It was a pleasure.